had a very interesting encounter at COP27 where you were wearing a black shirt with meat on it in huge white letters.
Well, Max, it's a pleasure to meet you again. My name is Seth Itzkan. I'm the co-founder and co-director of SOIL4CLIMATE. We're a nonprofit organization that advocates for soil restoration as a climate solution.
So last year, for example, you told me that you are against factory farming, that you think it's evil, that you're against these CAFOs, concentrated animal feedlot operations. Yet at the same time, we have these very worrying trends on this planet, right? We have growing demand for animal products. We have a lot of deforestation for meat production. How do we get out of this? Is regenerative grazing, can it be the solution? Because it has also needs a lot of land, right?
Yeah, so let's, how to go forward is always sort of the magic, big question mark. I will acknowledge that many elements of animal agriculture are horrifying and need to stop. But I would love it if sort of your camp would also acknowledge that soil does need ruminants, and that ruminants managed properly can be a good thing. Is that something that you could go on record as saying?
Why can't it be wild ruminants that we don't farm and kill after?
Okay. So let's just hold that thought for a second, whether or not it's wild or domestic. Can you accept that the grassland soil needs ruminants, wild or domestic? The biology requires it.
For sure, we need animals.
Okay.
They are a natural part of ecosystems.
Okay.
But we also need, for example, apex predators, right? And they are the first ones that need to go when people are starting to farm animals on land, right?
Okay. All right. So, just getting clear on the biology. The biology requires the animals. Now, the question is, okay, we don't have the hundreds, getting to the whole rewilding thing, we don't have the hundreds or the billions of wild grazers and predators that we used to have. I mean, they're just not there. They're in a few little safari parks in Africa. So humans have been at war with animals for a long time, not just the grazers and the predators. So the question is, can we use the domestic animals, which we have, in a different way, in a restorative way? So that's just sort of, let's say that's a question. I say yes, we can. I say there's lots of evidence of people doing that. That's why I like to just bring the conversation back to the soil.
All right.
The soil doesn't necessarily care if it's domestic or wild animal. It just wants an animal to be eating it and recycling the nutrients for it. So let me show you, if I may step off camera for a second. So this is beef jerky. If you had like a protein bar made out of peanuts at the supermarket, and then this jerky was also at the supermarket, but this is meat, you're not doing anyone a favor. You're not doing the world a favor by getting the protein bar when this is also an option.
Well, I mean, let's face it, the peanuts, they're plants. Those are dead animals, right? You're doing the animals a favor.
Yes, it's a dead animal. That's right. I'm eating a dead animal. I'm okay.
Big difference.
I'm okay eating a dead animal.
Do you have the meat shirt with you this year? Are you wearing it? Would you wear it again?
Yes.
Yes,
I would wear it again.
Okay, and how would you feel about people wearing a shirt with coal on, saying at a climate conference? How would other people feel about it?
That would be pretty bogus. That would be pretty bogus.
Okay. Yet we know that meat production causes way more damage than coal, for example. Also, if we look at other planetary boundaries, right, like biodiversity, land use, eutrophication, acidification. How do you feel about that?
I don't know that I would say meat is worse than coal, but I wouldn't defend coal, nor would I defend most meat operations. Okay, again, we're soil for climate. And most soil has been eroded, and it has to be restored, and it has to have ruminants as part of the restoration. Now, the reason why I wear the meat shirt, is in part, to create a little,
it's quite provocative
to provoke a little bit. I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
But there is also that argument about health, and I do not believe that plant-based protein is as healthy for people as meat-based protein.
Okay.
I will never defend cutting down trees in the Amazon to grow soybeans for pigs.
Okay.
However, I would absolutely defend bringing cows, sheep, and goats to semi-arid areas which are turning to desert and helping to restore the ground.
So you're advocating for an expansion of animal agriculture into untouched ecosystems with a rising number of ruminants that you want or feel like we need would also be even more methane. Tell me your view on methane. Is it different than fossil methane?
Right, okay, so this is
biogenic methane versus fossil methane.
So this is the methane conversation. No, I don't think it's different. The issue is the methane happening as part of the ruminant in a natural restorative ecosystem, or is it like coming from a manure lagoon?
I mean, most of the methane from ruminant animals is from enteric fermentation, right? It's not from the manure in the ground. It goes directly to the atmosphere.
Right, but manure lagoons create methane because they're this anoxic environment. But in terms of the natural enteric methane that you said, I mean, in a healthy ecosystem, that's naturally mitigated. Over the tens of millions of years that ruminants were evolving and becoming the dominant megafauna on the surface of the earth, the methane levels were dropping. The ruminants in their natural system are not a methane load.
Yet we know that from all the anthropogenic methane emissions, 32 to 40% come from ruminant animals. So it's the single biggest source of anthropogenic methane. And if we are using ruminant animals, we are replacing CO2 by a much more powerful greenhouse gas. That's actually, through those 12 years, it's more than 100 times as damaging to the atmosphere.
Okay.
So shouldn't we be doing everything that we can, because we're in this extreme climate crisis, and methane is like our biggest lever that we have at the moment to achieve cooling effects? Shouldn't we be doing everything we can and not increase the number of ruminant animals?
You have to restore soil.